Hello, dear students. Your accounts paper is completed. Now it's time to focus entirely on your law paper. So in this video, we are going to be discussing the 1.5-day plan that you should be following so that you complete the entire syllabus nicely for your law paper. What are the presentation skills that you should take care of in the exam hall? What is a paper pattern? What is the weightage of different chapters, etc. And some more important tips that will help you score 60 plus or exemption in law. I have put the timestamps here in case you want to jump to a particular section. You can go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's start off. See, now your accounts paper is completed. It's so important that you forget about the accounts paper. If it went well or it did not go well, it's okay. Let it go now because you cannot do anything about it anymore. So please do not watch any videos about accounts paper, which is your last paper now. Don't watch any review videos. Don't discuss anything with your friends because that 1 minute conversation or that 5 minute video is going to ruin your mindset. You will keep thinking about it for a couple of hours. Leave that in the past and let's focus entirely on your law paper. Okay, you have got plenty of time. Accounts paper ended at 5 o'clock, so around 5 to 7 or 8 you can come back home, you can rest, you can eat food, you can just relax. And then from 7 onwards till night 11 or 12, whatever is your capacity, please do not waste time anywhere. Don't rest, don't think that you have a lot of time tomorrow and day after. Please sit down and study at least 4 to 5 hours of output today. The first day you have to take out because this will really help you to complete the syllabus in 1.5 days. Now tomorrow from 7 morning or 8 morning till night you will have approximately 14-15 hours, and then after that before the exam you will have another 4-5 hours. So in total you will have 23-24 hours that you have to utilize. So let's discuss how you are going to complete the full syllabus in these 23-24 hours. Now on the screen you can see that for every chapter I have allotted some time. This time is based on the length of the chapter and the weightage of the chapter. Approximately in 23-24 hours, if you give this much time to all these chapters, then it will get completed nicely. Now these are rough timelines. It doesn't mean that if I have written 1 hour then you have to complete it entirely in 1 hour. It may happen that you complete it in 45 minutes. It may happen that you complete it in 1.5 hours or 1 hour 15 minutes, but roughly you have to stick to these deadlines so that broadly we are able to complete the maximum syllabus in 1.5 days. Why? Because whatever you revise now in 1.5 days is what you will remember in the exam. If you do not revise any chapter now, then mostly you will not recall the exact provisions in the exam. Okay, so look at the screen. Now this document you will find on my Telegram channel. I'll put the link of the Telegram channel in the description box below. You can download it from there as well. Okay, so see, we have Companies Act. We've got 10 chapters. So preliminary chapter is roughly a 4 to 5 marks and you can allot it maybe 1 hour. Then incorporation chapter 2 is roughly 5-6 marks. You can allot it 2 hours because it is a little long chapter. It always comes. Now chapter 3 prospectus and allotment, it comes for roughly 4 to 7 marks and you can give 1 hour to this chapter. Then share capital and debenture chapter 4 comes for approximately again 4 to 7 marks. You can give it 1 hour. Acceptance of deposits chapter is small. It comes for 4 marks and you can give it maybe 45 minutes to finish it. Registration of charges is again a small chapter. It's a 4 marks. You can give it 45 minutes. Then management and administration chapter always comes. It's a big chapter. It's of 7 marks approximately. So you can give it maybe 3 hours to finish it. Dividend chapter is again small. It is 4 mark chapter and you can give it 45 minutes. Accounts of the company is a long chapter. It comes for roughly 7 to 8 marks and you can give it maybe 2 hours to finish it. Audit and auditors, it comes for 5 to 6 marks every time. So you can give it 1.5 hours because it is long. Next is the Indian Contract Act. It comes for 10 to 12 marks. So indemnity and guarantee comes for 5 to 6 marks. You can complete it in 1 hour. Bailment and pledge comes for 4 marks. You can complete it in 1 hour. Agency for another 4 to 6 marks. You can use or 1 hour 15 minutes to finish this chapter. Negotiable Instrument Act comes for 10 marks. You can finish it in 3 hours. It's a long chapter. General Clause Act comes for 7 marks every time. You can use 1 hour to finish it. Interpretation of statutes comes for 6 marks. You can finish it in 1 hour. Other than that, you will also have to do RTP, MTP. Just check the questions whether you know all these questions or not. This you have to do in the end after you have revised all the chapters. Then look at the RTP RTP, MTP, right? This time we do not have any major amendments in corporate and other laws. Now let's also talk about the sequence in which you have to do these chapters. As we have discussed, the first day you have to anyhow study at least 4 hours. Now in these 4 hours, because you have already spent a lot of time in the morning studying and then going to the center and then giving the exam and then coming back, you might be tired. Okay, it's easy to not study, it's easy to rest and avoid studying, but please, I insist, trust me, you will thank yourself. Study, please, at least take out 4 hours and study. Do easy topics. So now what are these small topics? You can go ahead and do acceptance of deposits chapter, it's small. You can do charges chapter, you can do dividend chapter. These are small chapters, you can finish them off. If you don't feel like doing corporate like company law, then you can go ahead and do other laws also. You can just focus on completing the contract act. It is very simple to digest. Now in the second day, when you will be having approximately 16 hours to study, that is the day to complete the major big topics, the A category and B category big topics that always come. So in this day, you can try to complete incorporation chapter 2, then prospectus, share capital, management administration, accounts of the company, audit and auditors, negotiable instrument act, and maybe general clause act also. Then later on in the last day before the exam, you will get another 4-5 hours. That time you can try to complete definitions chapter, maybe the interpretation of statutes. In case any of the other chapters is left, you can complete that. You can complete RTP, you can complete MTP. See, it may happen that out of all of these 16 chapters, you have never touched a couple of chapters. Okay, in that case, in this 1.5 day, please don't take up these new chapters now. First, I want you to focus on revising whatever you have studied in the last 2.5 months or 4 months before. Please stick to the deadlines. If we have decided that you will complete the chapter in 1 hour, try to finish it in 1 hour or 1.5 hour. Don't take more than that time. Now, which also means that if you have to complete a big chapter in 1 hour, then you can't go in detail. You can't be studying a new book, word by word, everything. No, you can't be solving every single illustration, every single question. No, this is the time to review everything. So that means whatever you have underlined in the chapter, in the first reading, second reading, just read that and recall everything, right? And apart from that, if let's say you have made any notes, then I want you to recall all of those notes also. Please do not go for any new books or any new topics as we have discussed. Okay, around this time, let's say you feel that you can't finish a big book, so you want to jump to small notes that some teacher has given. Please don't do that, because those new notes, your mind doesn't recognize them. Even though the concepts are same, it will take you more time. It'll get your time will get wasted. We will not be able to finish everything in 1 hour, 2 hour, as we have discussed. So try to stick to the same book. Now let's talk that in the exam hall, what are the tips that you have to remember for the law paper? How are you going to write the answers? First of all, this is not a college exam. So in the college exam, we know that as much as we write, we get more marks, whether it is relevant or not. But this is a professional exam. Please don't just ramble in the paper. Write only relevant points. Don't just fill out more and more papers thinking that you will get any marks. That will not happen. Okay, only if you have written the correct answer, only if you have read the question correctly and written relevant points, then you will get marks. Otherwise you won't. Be to the point, only write relevant points. Next, read the question carefully. You have to be calm and composed in the exam hall. Read the question carefully. Sometimes a few words here and there can make a huge difference in the requirement of a question. So you should know what the question is exactly asking. For that, you have to be calm and relax and read the question nicely and then frame the answer. Take 30 seconds, frame the answer, then start writing. Otherwise, if you just directly brush through the question, start writing the answer, later on it might turn out wrong, or you will realize that that was not the answer or that was not the question, and you'll have to cut it and do scribbling and cutting and then rewrite the answer. It will waste time and the presentation will be bad. Okay, next is how much should you be writing? So it depends on the handwriting of a person. Some people write big and leave a lot of spaces, so they will consume more place, obviously. So on an average basis, if it is a 4-mark question, roughly, if you have small handwriting, you'll finish it in 1 page max. If you have big handwriting, then maybe 2 pages. If it's a 6-mark question, then approximately 1.5 page to 2.5 page, depending on your handwriting. A 2-mark question will take you approximately half page to 1 page, depending on your handwriting. Now, whenever you're writing law paper, you have to write in a specific presentation. First, you have to write the provision. So what is the law stating? that you have to mention. Then you have to write analysis based on that law. What is this question saying? Are the facts relevant? You have to relate the facts of the question with the provision. And then finally you have to conclude. Many students ask that should we write facts? Well, see, I don't think you need to write facts because they are already mentioned in the question. They do not contain any extra marks if you write them again, and they will waste your time. So avoid writing facts. Simply write provision, analysis and conclusion. Next, you have to leave lines between paragraphs. Write in a decent manner, okay, in the sense that write in points. Then between points leave some lines. If there are any important limits, any important conclusions, keywords, underline them or write them in bold letters so that it is easy for the paper checker to actually check your paper. It should look beautiful, presentable, confident. Next, if you do not know section numbers, rule numbers, please do not write them. You have to be fast from the very beginning. You have to try to attempt 100% paper. See, no matter what happens, at least 95%, 100% paper you should attempt. For that, from the very beginning, you have to write fast, okay, from the first question itself. And regarding how to make the most of time in the exam hall, I have made a video. I'm going to put the link somewhere here in the I button. Do check it out. It's very, very useful. Okay. Next, every answer should be from a new page. In the same page, don't write a new answer. Every answer should be from a new page. Now, every question has got parts in it, A, B, C, D. All these parts have to be written together. Okay, A part on one page, the next page B part, then C part, then D part. Okay, you can change the sequence. You can do B part first, then D part, then A. You can do that. In case you do not know an answer, please don't even try to attempt it at that moment. Leave space for it, one page or two page. Come back to it later and then definitely try to attempt it. This is law paper. Okay, law is nothing but common sense. So you should, even if you don't know the chapter, even if you do not understand the provisions, still just try to attempt. Okay, at least write some commonsensical conclusion. You will get 1 mark for the conclusion. You never know. Okay, in law also there is stepwise marking. So if you have correctly written the provision, you'll get 1 mark here and there. Then analysis, you'll get another 1 mark. Then conclusion, you'll get another 1 mark. Finally, let's also talk about the paper pattern. So 70 mark right now is your theoretical paper, 30 mark is your MCQs. Now in the 70 mark theoretical paper, you'll get 5 questions. First will be compulsory, and then after that, the rest of the 4 questions you have to attempt any 3 questions. First question will be of 19 marks. The next 4 questions will be of 17, 17, 17 marks. Okay. Now here on the screen, you can see a document in which I have bifurcated that in which question, which part you have which chapter being covered. For example, in the first question, always 2 questions come from the Companies Act. 1 question is coming from your Contract Act and 1 question is coming from your Negotiable Instrument Act. Okay. Now in question number 2, again 2 questions, 3 questions are coming from your Companies Act, then Contract Act, Negotiable Instrument Act. Again in question 3 also 2 questions are from Companies Act and then 1 from Negotiable Instrument Act and Interpretation of Statute. Question number 4 has got 2 questions from the Companies Act, then 1 from General Clause Act, 1 from Interpretation of Statutes. And then question number 5 has got 2 questions from Companies Act. There is a choice among 2 questions here from the Companies Act. And then you have a question from Contract Act and General Clause Act. This is the usual pattern in which the question comes. So if you are someone who has done General Clause Act, interpretation, other laws nicely, then please directly go on to question number 4, 5 or 3 and try to attempt them faster. Now this particular PDF, I will put it in the Telegram channel. You can download it from there and do your own analysis. Okay, now how should you be attempting the questions in the exam? With respect to that, I have a video made. It is very nice. Please do refer to it. The link is in the description box below, or you can just click it here.